Hey everybody, what is up? I can't believe we're talking about racism again, but we are, because the Rings of Power actors and actresses continue to attack Tolkien fans as racists. Why do they keep doing this? What is the point? This helps absolutely nothing. The show is already over. Season 2 is underway. Keep your mouths closed. But it's okay. We're going to talk about why they can't keep their mouths closed. It just means so much to them to fight against the racist backlash. Haha. Multiple of the Lord of the Rings of Power actors continued to attack fans of creator J.R.R. Tolkien and his works as racists, as their show was exposed to audiences as being a black hole of creativity. Let's read together. Ismael Cruz Cordova, who played Arondir, Sophia Navette, who played the Princess Diza, and Cynthia Addai Robinson, who played Queen Regent Muriel, spoke with Variety's Nick Vivarelli, where they were asked about a supposed racist backlash to the casting. Now, they did give their quotes. I covered this in a Variety report that I covered last week, but they did say things like, the fact that the attention was shifted towards this shows that what the power of shows like this has. Did it become a bit too much? Absolutely. It's taken airtime from the depth of who we are as artists, all kinds of terrible things. In order to not have such an impact, the pendulum has to swing, and I hope that the pendulum swings in the correct direction away from season 2 and hopefully towards better things like an actual Lord of the Rings show that people care about, and one that is more accurate to J.R.R. Tolkien's works, unlike this piece of trash travesty, or piece of trash-fisty? I don't know. I'm trying to come up with the word to mix the two together, but it's okay. Let's move on. Addai Robinson then shared her thoughts. We are right in the middle of that process. We just want to normalize. We do have to discuss it. We just can't shut the heck up. We have to talk about how racist everyone is for not liking the Rings of Power. Oh, would you like a coupon to watch the Rings of Power? Here, take this coupon. If you don't take it, you're racist, okay? Just remember that. That level of distraction or aggression that was put towards us, it's been a painful journey to get there, but it has elevated us. It has strengthened us. It has put us in a position where there will be a plaque one day when the pendulum has swung to where it needs to be. Look, it's so just dramatic and Shakespearean. And how come? How come? Well, it's been a challenge. It has been a phenomenal moment to be a part of. Doors are open and accessibility is available for absolutely everyone to feel safe within a franchise and a story of this scale. Reading that, it's really intriguing to read because, while it's been a challenge, it's been a phenomenal moment to be a part of. I mean, all they care about is just being a part of the show and being a part of the Lord of the Rings. They don't care how accurate it wasn't. They don't care at all. All they care about is that they got the part, they got the money, and now all they got to do is just lay low in interviews until season 2, where then they can just act their parts, pretend that they're all strong and above all the other men in the show while they continue to undermine and destroy it. And they can just pretend to do that and then just lay low again for the second set of interviews that will inevitably be memed into oblivion when they happen. But that's okay. Let's continue to see what Addai Robinson said. Tears have been shed, blood has been spilled, metaphorically. She had to remind you so that you didn't think she actually physically spilled blood. But here we are. Okay, now that the tangent is over, let's read the important parts, which is what I wanted to get to. The writer talks about the Twitter post from the Lord of the Rings on Prime Twitter. First off, if there was any racist backlash, Variety did not provide any evidence of it, and neither have any of these actors. The official The Lord of the Rings of Power Twitter account posted a message condemning racism the cast was allegedly receiving, but again, did not provide any evidence of it actually occurring. So the writer is just pushing back on all of this racist claim, all these racist claims. They wrote on Twitter, "We, the cast of Rings of Power, stand together in absolute solidarity and against the relentless racism, threats, harassment, and abuse some of our castmates of color are being subjected to on a daily basis. We refuse to ignore it or tolerate it." Honestly, guys, I can't imagine how many actors and actresses in Hollywood deal with hatred like this on a daily basis. Death threats, racism, you name it. It doesn't matter white, black, Hispanic, Asian. It does not matter. Everybody gets those kinds of threats. Hell, I'm not even that well known on Twitter, and I still get people coming in and saying all kinds of terrible things about me whenever they want to, and it's just like the only person who ever says anything on my posts. I mean, it's anybody can deal with something like this, okay? And yes, it sucks, and yes, I'm sure maybe there were a few people who were saying racist things, but to say that it's so relentless and on such a huge scale where you have the entire cast and crew coming out to basically write off an entire section of the quote-unquote fan base because they were critical of the show and just be like, well, you must be in line with all of those other racists and bigots. Like, what? What is your reasoning? What is your reasoning for that? They continued, J.R.R. Tolkien created a world which, by definition, is multicultural, a world in which free peoples from different races and cultures join together in fellowship to defeat the forces of evil, which in the case of the Rings of Power, it's orcs dressed in white and a white Halbrand / Sauron who's a human man. Oh, and he's an incel. Yeah, 100% an incel. Come to me, baby Galadriel. Let's kill orc babies together. Okay, anyway. Our world has never been all white. Fantasy has never been all white. Middle-earth is not all white. BIPOC belong in Middle-earth, and they are here to stay. Can you believe this? What is so wrong with being any color? Why is pigmentation such a huge thing to these people up at Amazon or the Lord of the Rings on Prime? Look how many people they're writing off. Like, this is terrible. This is a terrible business practice. And not to mention, I mean, they're like giving Brazilians free coupons. And Amazon is firing 10,000 people or something like that. Thousands. I don't know how many they've fired so far, but apparently that was supposed to happen this week. And then you have like CEO or ex-CEO Jeff Bezos being like, I'm giving all my money away to politics and climate change. Good luck, everybody. Oh, sorry, by the way, for having all of you people fired right before I announced that my financial retirement. But I hope that you guys can find work elsewhere. And then we'll keep all of the terrible writers and the terrible employees up at the Rings of Power production, just like the first season. Woo woo. Okay. Anyway, in conclusion, they wrote, finally, all our love and fellowship go out to the fans supporting us, especially fans of color, who are themselves being attacked simply for existing in this fandom. We see you, your bravery, and endless creativity. Your cosplays, fan cams, fan art, and insights make this community a richer place and remind us of our purpose. You are valid, you are loved, and you belong. You are an integral part of the Lord of the Rings family. Thanks for having our backs, they concluded. What? Your cosplays, your fan cams, fan arts, and insight make this community a richer place. So it's all about the new woke fans of the Rings of Power that you're all for. What about all of the Lord of the Rings fans that you were trying to preach to at the beginning of this entire thing? How is it that you have written all of those people off and are only catering to these people? What is wrong with you? Whatever. What was occurring is that people were criticizing the Lord of the Rings of Power's race swapping and the complete abandonment of Tolkien's work to push evil intersectional woke politics. How many times do people have to say, we didn't like the writing? We didn't like the intentional race swapping just because? How many times do people have to say it before they finally mention it? The media doesn't mention it. The writers up at the Rings of Power, the creators J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay, two morons, they never make mention of that. I've never seen them say, so we've been hearing that the fans don't like the writing or the direction, so don't worry, guys, we're going to fix that. They can never just be honest and come out and just be like, look, guys, we're really sorry that we screwed up. We were trying something new here and it didn't work out. We're going to do our best to fix this. But they're not doing that. They would rather push all of their problems onto their PR agents and actors and actresses who have no idea what is going on. These people just take the roles that they're given because it pays a lot of money and it's attached to a big IP. That's why they're defending it and keeping on the down low in every other respect. Okay, we're back where I lost my place earlier. One of the biggest critics of the show, YouTuber Just Some Guy, took Amazon to task over these points in a video he published back in March. In the video, he states the point of Tolkien's stories is to be English in design and effect, and Middle-earth reflects that in its cultures, languages, and the appearance of its races. To change this, to remove the Englishness, or really the whiteness from Tolkien's stories, is to undermine the very purpose of his works. That's actually really well said. It should be obvious that this will result in the backlash, but for some reason, after watching, fans reject every attempt at playing politics with major franchises like Star Trek, Star Wars, Doctor Who, and the MCU. Amazon decided to inject progressive politics into their show along with playing loose and fast with the lore, he continued. And we're shocked when fans gave them the one-finger salute. So began the apologia, first an interview from Amazon, then by media outlets, and now by people claiming to be super fans and Lord of the Rings experts, he concluded. Do you remember the super fans? Remember how super fanny they were when that show came out? Oh, they were just like, dude, I love that show so much that I didn't even watch it. Amazing. Criticizing a show for race swapping its characters is not racism, no matter how much Prime Video and these actors want it to be. No, the fault is with these actors and Prime Video. They chose to radically alter Tolkien's work in both how the characters look and appear, as well as in the substance of the storytelling. If you have sat through at least 1 hour of that show, you would never go up to the actress who played Princess Diza or Queen Regent Muriel, for example, and be like, I am so sorry I was mean to you. Okay, now, granted, I would never be a racist and go up and be like, I don't like this. I don't like you being in this show because of your pigmentation. No one would ever say that. But after watching her performance, I'd be like, why were you even in the show? Why did they hype you up so much? You weren't even that interesting to begin with. But these actors and actresses are treating their roles like they're just the best roles ever, that they're all Shakespearean, incredible actors who have just brought the Lord of the Rings to life in a way that Viggo Mortensen, Elijah Wood, and Peter Jackson could never do. Absurd. As Eric July noted in video upload from June 2021, people have been covering this travesty all the way back to last year. Let's talk about those actors and actresses real quick. These guys have absolutely no integrity, which is why you should not take them serious in their advocacy for definitely something on the subject matter of race. He added, they take the gigs, and I don't think people seem to understand that, or rather they lose sight of that. The actors and actresses will just take the gigs just because they just want to take the gigs. I mean, it's a life-changing role. And if you're taking on a life-changing role, is it really going to matter to you how accurate your character is? I mean, I guess it would matter to you if you were a fan of The Lord of the Rings, like a lot of these people involved in the show claimed to be, just like J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay claimed that the story would go back to the lore of the Lord of the Rings, when in reality, it had nothing to do with Tolkien's works at all. It was just a copy paste. Here's some of the characters with the names and locations, and there you go. Good luck, and I hope you guys do well with this. What do you make of the Rings of Power actress still doubling down on this false narrative that critics of the shows, and specifically its race-swapped casting, are racist? And tell me what you guys think in the comments. The comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you all have a beautiful day as well. Like and share this video, subscribe, click that notification bell, and I hope to see you all again next time.